Now, you have two ways. Nature and ourselves. What is a human being now? We are human beings. But what's a human being? They said, studying a man or a woman, the life in their bodies, we know what is a woman or a man in their bodies, in their material bodies. But what about the character? Can you know all male or all female persons by studying Mary or George? No. Now we have to study what is the self in a personality. You have to study now this kind of self colored, not bright color, but colored. Study them and start to separate what is common and what is personal. Now this is interesting us now. We live nature around us for the time being, though a seeker of the truth is doing both. By observation, studying and using the mind, he's studying everything taking place around him. Because unless he will do that on the material plane, he will not just have that tendency of observing things in the other planes. Don't think by studying a book or yoga, just knowing that there are centers on the material body, or rather on the etheric double of the material body, called chakras. We call them centers of energy. And opening them and this and that, you will be self-conscious in the psychical plane. Nothing more misleading and stupid. Because I have seen many, many people who happen to get a book on yoga from the East, trying, as they say, to wake up their chakras, who became neurasthenic. We are getting many, many letters for the day. Oh, it has opened the Kundalini, or that and that and that and that. And what I see, it is forms of schizophrenia. Yes, these things lead to schizophrenia and neurasthenia. Not that these centers do not exist, they do exist. But it is under the authority of the holy archangels of the creation, doing the whole work. And the seeker of the truth should be serious to observe this creative work in their bodies, and then understand and cooperate with them, and not just try to violate the laws of nature. So, it is by observation, introspection, and using the mind in the proper way that you can find yourself self-conscious in the psychical plane and make what we call exosomatosis, meaning knowing, having the self-consciousness independent from the material body and not by other means which are leading, I said, to neurasthenia. So, these are the means we will be using. Our divine nature of observation and learning how to use the super substance of the mind, the greatest gift given to human beings by the Father, God, so that we just see the truth and proceed now with reverence, because nature, even the material plane, for a true seeker of the truth, is a church, a temple of God, and should live just in a serious way of studying and understanding the ways of the absolute infinite beingness, if the God is tempting some, the creators and the Creator. So, what is the duty of every reasonable human being, and what human beings calling themselves intelligent and reasonable today are doing? Joshua Manor the Christ spoke about all these things. He said, what is the nature of a human being now, as a man or a woman? Being born, growing, and what? In growing as a man or a woman, in their environment, in their family, in their home, in their society, are to do to increase within them that feeling of possessiveness, catching, getting, and calling that and that thing their own. Now, by observation, we will find out what creates this feeling of ownership and enslaving the mind in this, I'll call it tendency, not to say desire. So you must understand the difference between these two words. In this way, we start to study the character of the human beings, not only one, all of them, because all of them are under the same influences, under the same impressions living today. So we have just to say, what is desire? What's the human body? We have to study the human body. By studying the human body and the total wisdom of the holy archangels of creation working in our material body, just study this thing, sing a book on anatomy. What we find out? That we are not the human body, because the human body of any human being, man or a woman, is the same always. The same is the body of a woman with the bodies of every other woman. It is the same the body of a man with the bodies of every other man. Just it's shorter, taller, that plays no difference. You know what is a male person. You know what's a female person. This is the common thing in human beings. But now we are coming to another branch of study. I don't say that we will leave that behind, not study it. The same way we are studying what is going on in the nature all around us. Said our nature, divine nature of observation, we should use it any moment, to use it in what we call waking consciousness now, and just get the habit of using it during the time your present personality is sleeping, going to the other dimensions So, what is now desire? And what is this desire doing? Is desire always a sin, a necessity? You have just to study it. Should not just jump from impression to impressions and reach to wrong conclusions. You have to study the nature of desire, what it is. It is our so-called psychical body. That we find our psychical body. And what we find? That we were using this psychical body all the time, subconsciously, without knowing its existence, but using it. And being under its influence. So we have to wake up, know who we are, and get control of this psychical body. But you cannot do that unless you have mastered already the physical body. Studying what's the physical body? Who am I and what I am in that material body using it? So that I shall study the nature of other bodies, of the psychical body. So I have just step by step using the observation and the reasonable thinking as meditation to know as much as I can know of the relative truth concerning the matter I am studying. So a seeker of the truth should study what is desire. You say, what is desire now? I'm telling you, both an angel and a devil. And who is making that angel a devil? You. By becoming a devil, you make it a devil. But being or becoming an angel, it's an angel. So the desire is a mirror in which you reflect your own self. But now we come to another confusing point. Which self? But is that image I see in this mirror of desire really myself? Because we will not extend on this matter now. But I say, by study, I find that similar to this kind of expression of a personality I call desire, I see that combined to it is the way of thinking. And you find out that you had been misusing subconsciously this divine gift of the mind as thought, enslaving it to the desires. That's making the desire a devil. Under the reasonable thinking of a reasonable being, it's a blessing. It is a necessity and not a curse. Then I find out that apart from what I call desire, now studying the psychical body, which has its form, because everything to exist must have a form, I see that I find myself in another body, what we call the noetical body, the mind body. But I can't just use the word mind body, because in mind body I have also the noetic, and not only the noetical body, the higher mental, as some people call it. So we have just to study its nature and what it is. What is the mind? Not now the mind as the super substance, but as I made it part of myself my mind. I got a drop of this mind from the ocean of the mind. They have colored it now. In what way? Of my present-day personality, my weaknesses, my vices, my virtues, many things. So now myself, using again observation and the right thinking, by coloring the mind and seeing what is behind the mind as my desire, what do I find? My own personality. Now here is the critical point. My own personality. But who is doing it? And what is that? My present day personality as mind and emotion. Then you separate yourself from that. Oh, I was making the mistake to think that that kind of personality, the sinful personality, the transgressing personality, is not in reality myself. I'm something else. Then you feel dual while you are one. You make the mistake that you are so-called egoism of the personality is yourself. But it is not yourself. Now you are reasoning. Now we give exercises which make you, by introspection, observation and meditation, to separate this petty, call it selfhood, which is the present day personality's egoism, from your real self, your real majestic divine self, which is God. You. Not God in you, but you. Then it is the time to understand who you are as a soul self. Now, studying the personality, you can study your petty self as a man or as a woman in the phenomenon of life. But now reaching this point, finding your soul self, there is no sex there. When they have asked Christ once, who are you? He didn't say, I am Joshua, Emmanuel, I am a human being. He had shown how we should think. He said, to the Jews in Aramaic, hey, Asher, hey, I am what I am. And in Greek, because he was speaking the Greek language, being an Essene himself, the mother language of Christ, Joshua the Christ, was Greek and Aramaic. Εγώ είμαι ότι είμαι. He was speaking as the soul, and the soul of a male or a female person has no sex. But it's an archangel. So it is that kind of self we should find as being ourselves, that self, disentangling our real self from the image we see in the mirror of emotion and of thought. And what is God doing to us every few years? We see as ourselves a distorted image of ourselves in the threefold mirror of matter, emotion, and thought. You look at it. Now you have to clean that mirror to see yourself. You see it much distorted. You see it now like a monster. Looking there, you make the mistake to see I am that. The desires, the weaknesses, the emotions, the thoughts on this or that matter like that. God is breaking those three-fold mirrors every few years. Is God evil or most merciful? Most merciful. To make us sleep, see better and clearer, and then giving us another mirror, and another mirror, another mirror, to make it more clean. We have to make it clean to see ourselves reflected in it properly. That means incarnation. So, what is the real gain of a seeker of the truth, man or a woman? To find the real self. To find the self reflected on the mirror, and not make the mistake that the image in the mirror is the self. And one of the aims of the seeker of the truth is just to annihilate his personal egoism. Because unless the personal egoism is exterminated, annihilated, the real self, the sun of the real self, will not rise. And you will make the mistake that you are your desires, your thoughts, your emotions. When I gave this lesson before some years to the inner circle, a fellow who's a poet told me, you know, you have destroyed everything good in me. I said, why? You deprive me of my emotions and of my thoughts. What remains to me? I said, your own self remains to you. Just find that self, and you will understand that you are not losing anything. You are gaining everything. Because you think what you are gaining, it is because you, the self as the sun, shine there, and you know, you get notice of what you see. Be the sun yourself, and you can have everything. Know what Joshua Emmanuel the Christ said, the kingdom of the heavens which is in us. He described them. And what did he say? Seek, search the kingdom of the heavens, and you are losing everything. Did he say that? No. Seek the kingdom of the heaven, and everything is yours. It's a great mistake to think that reaching that stage, it means throwing away everything. It is just clear that you have different now things to love, higher things to love. That's true. And things that now are interesting you will not mean much to you. But reaching that, everything is yours. Seek the kingdom of the heavens, and everything will be added to you. Everything, and you have to select. Suppose you are a child, a boy, and you have marbles playing and playing and playing, and collecting stamps and getting stamps, and you make a nice book with collection of stamps, and you grow up. You don't need any more collecting stamps. Yeah, now you are collecting money, banknotes, different pieces of paper, which are called money. Well, for me it's not much difference, but there is a difference for the people collecting stamps and now collecting money. But as one day this fellow now collecting money and banknotes and everything, those stamps mean nothing to him. Believe me, someday when you have the heavenly things, all these things on the material plane will mean nothing to you. So you are not losing anything. You are gaining everything. You say, well, am I losing all this? Who is just depriving a millionaire to get again the book of his stamps and enjoy his stamps if he wishes to? Nobody. So no need just to throw away things. If you want, you can have everything. What you are losing, the fascination of things. And what did the Lord Buddha, Bodhisattva Buddha, was teaching? Disentangling yourself from the illusions. But do now, Buddhists, know the truth that this great Lord and Master had taught the world. Disattachment. I don't believe that all of them know it. As all Christians, most of the Christians have lost the sense and the truth in Christianity. So the Buddhists have lost, most of them, the real teaching and sense of Buddha. Because if you know the truth behind the teachings of both the Lord Buddha, the enlightened one, and Joshua the Christ, the God-man, it's the same thing, the same truth revealed. A fellow Buddhist one day told me, "Oh, pity you are not a Buddhist, sir, and you are a Christian." I said, "Who told you I'm not a Buddhist?" He said, "Are you a Buddhist?" I said, "Definitely I am. I may be better Buddhist than you are." Looking at me. "But are you not a Christian?" "Of course I'm a Christian." But now I don't see any difference in the truth. Truth is not the monopoly of certain people coloring it according to their ideas. So a seeker of the truth should see the truth as it is. What's the truth? God is love. Just under this light, you can see clearer everything. When the sun of love rises, you can see everything nicely. If there is darkness and you go with a candle in your hand, color candle, you will see things in a different way, in your own way. So, wisdom comes to a human being, every human being, if he or she wishes to see the truth, by observation, making reasonable use of the mind, concentrating on the things one wants to study, but freeing himself at that time from all illusions and attachments on things influencing him or influencing her. That means taking away the personal egoism. What do I call this work? The system of the seekers of the truth, the science of sciences. Because the highest science is to know the self. The expressions of the self, the logos self, and our place in that kind of selfhood. And just clean it. Now somebody says, shall we give up our so-called personal self, the egoism? I said, no. Annihilate its expression, because in it to exist as egoism in a person, as heart of it has yourself. You are that and you are not. What you are not, take it away, and live what you are. Now, it's difficult to understand that before exercising, separating the real self, its nature, from its expression. Tomorrow the lesson will be more on the use of the mind. Now we'll make an exercise. Relax completely your material body. Relaxing it shows that you are a god. And that material body of yours given to you, feeling you are living in it, is yours now. Make it yours. The holy archangels creating this material body and everything most wisely in the material body will not object, calling it yours, but deserve to be the master of this material body. Feel that you are in the material body, relaxing it completely. Absolute relaxation. You are breathing now. Breathing deeply but comfortably. You can select the rhythm of your breathing. Breathe deeply. And the time you are breathing, feel you are in the lungs. But at the same time you are feeling you are in the lungs, you can feel you can be everywhere in your body. The air and the oxygen is going only in the lungs, in and out. But something else. You are feeling. That is your etheric double, the whole body. The time now you are breathing and the air is confined only in the lungs, getting in and out, you can feel the whole body. Be in your whole body, in the fingers, in the face, in the feet, everywhere. Feel now you are in the body and feel that that's yours also. This is the etheric double. You are concentrated on the aesthetic or feeling giving ether. So it's not only the air and oxygen that matters, but also the etheric vitality. You are using it subconsciously, now you can use it consciously. Just feel into your body. You are breathing oxygen, etheric vitality, and God, life. You are breathing etheric vitality and through the lungs, but at the same time you breathe it with your whole etheric double, feeling it. You feel it. This is the super substance of the mind, uncolored. Now, what I tell you is rather difficult and it needs much practice. But I'll say that and feel it. We are in God. God is everywhere in us. Out of our bodies and in our bodies. Feel it. I don't say Him. Feel God as the highest intelligence to which you can attune yourself, enjoying its total wisdom, its almightiness, its total love. does he understand and he feels what you are feeling now? It's stupid to believe that the one who gave you the eyes to see is not seeing. The one who gave you the ears to hear is not hearing. The one who gave you that handful of matter you call brains to think with is not thinking. You can talk to him. He's talking to you. Just listen. Joshua Emmanuel the Christ, the God-man, spreading his hands out to the Essenes, was saying, I am the Lord. You are God in you. You are God in you. You are beingness. And the Logos was saying, I am the Lord, you are God in you as you are a human being self. Just enjoy that human beingness self. Try to understand what is life, what is you are. Soul in life, and free yourself from the false impression that you are an isolated personality having a name of a man or a woman. Joseph Manuel the Christ said, you are God's offsprings of the infinite Father. Find your immortal, everlasting self, life. Those who believe in me and know me will taste no death, but we live in eternity. Breathe deeply, comfortably. Fill your heart and clean it to reflect love. Nothing except love. Love to all human beings.